just fine. Okay, so this week we are taking a break from automating things in Word, and we're going to focus on the page layout tab up here, and we're going to work on some design basics, and some intro to some design principles. 2007 people and 2010 people both have a page layout tab. The only I think big difference is this arrange section is different, but we're not actually going to work with the arrange section today. That's more advanced, and that's something I want to wait and get to uh, in a maybe next week or the week after. For this today, I want us to get kind of basic. Um, a sample text, I have my lecture today, but we can also bring up some other. I might bring up some other things. So anyway, we're in the page layout tab. Let's start with the automatic things that Word can give you. Um, Themes are they're not templates. They're not what we discussed. We discussed a little bit about auto templates in week 4, but they're sort of color and font themes that you can set up, and you can go with a specific one. You can set up with Executive or your Foundry or Grid. And what it'll do, it'll employ those styles throughout Word. So you can do a big theme like this, or you can break it into pieces. So let's try to clarify a little. So we go into colors here. Here, Office. These are the standard spectrum of colors that in Office things come from. Say you select grayscale. So we've selected grayscale for colors. Now let's go over to Home, Font Color tab. Look, you've got the standard colors here, but look what's on top, the theme colors. Everything's in grayscale. Want to change it to Flow, which is very green and blue. See, now all of our colors are sort of these grays and greens and blues and a little bit of yellow. So it's just sort of changed that default. And if you want to go back to Office. Look, here we have fonts. So Office. In Office, the two standard font families, or some of the classic font families. In 2010, it's Cambria or Calibri. In classic, Arial. Let's say we want to go with, I prefer Garamond. That's my default font here. But let's go with Blacktop. We go into Home. We go into our font thing, or our little font changer. All of a sudden, hey, we have our, your common fonts, all your fonts, but your theme fonts are right here for easy access. Let's show it with something else. Angles. Theme fonts. Now Franklin Gothic fonts are up at the top for easy access. And again, to undo that, you can switch to your default. No. My default, I guess, is Office 2, but I actually have mine preset to Garamond. Anyway, so I encourage you to play around with those a little more in your own time, see what they can do. I personally don't use them too much, but it's always good to know about. Let's see. So we have already discussed margins, orientation, and sizing in week 2, so I'm not going to, belabor those points. Columns, though, these are important. Right now, everything's structured as a single column, but I can easily make it a 2-column document, 3-column document. All I'm doing is clicking here and selecting the column I want. Something that has more text on the left than the right. More text on the right than the left. What you would use these right and left ones for really is you would have your main text here, and then notes, little pointers, maybe some small graphics on this side. You can also go into more columns. So this is what's important. Again, so you've just got your 4 standard presets, but you could, let's see, hold on. Let's undo and go back to 1 column so I can relink this. You can go here, 4-column document. Also, anyway, whether you have anything with a multi-column document, this is really important. Look, you can change the width of the document, width of each column. So say I want the width to be 2 inches rather than 1. Oh, and it'll Word is automatically adjusting that spacing. You could also go and manually. Word is automatically adjusting that spacing because we've got this equal column width here. But you can uncheck that and do whatever you want. You can turn that off. We're going to just go back to single column. Actually, no, I'm going to go back to 2 columns real quick. I'm actually going to resize this because I think this looks hideous. Let's go back to 3 inches. There we go, much better. Okay. You're allowed to make aesthetically unpleasing decisions as exploration. No problem with that. So I'm going to keep it in 2 columns. We're going to go into breaks next. Page break is the first one, but since we're in columns, I want to discuss the column break first. So, I practiced this. Column break. We want it in 2 columns. Sorry, I skipped ahead. I'm going to undo that. So, say we want a 2-column document, and we want the column to actually break here. We go into column, change it to 2, and we've got this break where we started. And actually, that was a really weird choice on my part. Let's break it earlier. Let's say we want, because you can break it anywhere. I broke it in such a way that it looked weird. So let's put it in 2 columns. Let's have the column break be here. There you go. See, I think that makes more sense. And apologies, like I said, with Web Connect, there's no way to pause and start over, so you get all of my flubs in real time. It's great. We're gonna go back to single column now. So yeah, so that's a column break. And I'm gonna try to slow down. I know I go a little fast. I'm sorry. Page breaks. So this is this is about 2 pages of text. Let's say I want to actually have a page break here. I put my cursor there. Page. Hey, now there's a new page. And there is actually a line space right here, and I just hit my delete key if I want to be sure that's flush with the top margin. That's how a page break is. I'm actually going to turn on this markup tool for a little while so you can actually see what a page break looks like. We're going to put that page break back. So we're going to delete these. But look here, it says page break. Awesome. Text wrapping, not really relevant to us. You can look at that on your own, and if you have questions individually, you can ask me, but not really relevant to what we're doing. Section breaks, right here. These aren't necessarily, you're not necessarily going to see the relevance right now. When I do a lesson on custom pagination, section breaks are going to be very important because Word auto-pagination can be very finicky and strange to work with, and knowing how to insert a section break is important. Anyway, so this is what a page break looks like. Let's just get rid of this page break. I just wanted you to see what it looked like. Say instead we want to put in a new section here. So section break, if we hit next page, it starts the section on the next page. And look, it says section break. And see, it specifies next page. That's important. You can also do a continuous section break. So it makes the section break, it makes a new section, but keeps the text more or less, it doesn't start a whole brand new page. And you'll see that. You're only going to see this if you have the markup language thing turned on. But I'm going to turn that off now because it annoys me visually to see it. It makes me a little nutty. You can also even page and odd page. It's where you insert a section break, and then the new section starts on the next odd numbered page or even numbered page. Maybe useful later. We'll go into that actually when we do pagination. It's not really relevant right now if we're only working with a couple of pages of text. Line numbers. Line numbers are not something I use often, but they are often important for legal documents such as contracts. So continuous, now every line is numbered. Even these empty spaces count as a line. Also, what you can do is restart each page. So we've got 48 lines here, 46 lines here. We can put in a section break, and for our line numbers, restart at each section. So I put my section break right here. You can also say you have a paragraph where you don't want line numbers. Suppress current paragraph. Hey, then your line numbers end here, start up again here. You can also, there are some line numbering options. You go into this page setup, then click line numbers, and here's where you can change. You can say, I want my line numbering to start at 5. You can say, I want it to be a quarter inch away from the text, and I want to count by 3s. Voila, we can do that. Always save. Don't do like I do and just put up a blank document. Hyphenation. So this is, say you have something that's justified format. Now it's not really an issue here, but sometimes your spacing and your kerning, which is the actual size of your size and spacing of your letters, can get messed up if you have justified alignment, because it's trying to cram everything perfectly. So allowing for hyphenation, well, it didn't work in the thing I had. Anyway, here, it did it down here. Because it's not just for left align. But so it hyphenated important. It hyphenated button. It hyphenated pagination. It did this because I put it to auto hyphenate. It auto hyphenated hyphenation. I put it that way, or I told it to auto hyphenate in words like, oh, that word is too long, I'm going to hyphenate it to make it more elegant. I think it just made it uglier. But you could also do manual hyphenation. And so Word registers that important ostensibly needs to be hyphenated. But I could go in and change it to, let's see, hyphenate at, no. So basically what it's doing is letting me decide whether it's okay to hyphenate it or not. Word finds the lines it thinks should be hyphenated and yes or no. So yeah, sure. Button, no. Column, sure. Pagination, sure. So that's what hyphenation is for. If you may or may not have guessed, that's not a tool I actually use very often. Watermark. This one, for some reason, is really slowed to low on my machine. That's fine. Watermarks are something that is placed in the background of a document. You list them as a warning. Do not copy. It's coming in pretty faint. I hope you can see it. Word has a lot of presets. Disclaimers. Draft. Don't think this is awesome. Don't think it, this has mistakes. And warn you, urgent! This has to get done now! You can also do custom watermarks. You can do a picture watermark where you upload a picture and set that into your background. And it's let's see. You know, I don't actually. Here, we'll just go with a picture. We'll auto scale it and we'll wash it out. And so now you can see I've got this watermark put in there. It has no relevance to my document. I'm just doing it for show. Or you can do a text watermark, and here you can type in your text. And you can set your color to be whatever you want. Test watermark. Pretty simple. You can also color your page background. Honestly, this is something I recommend very rarely. Really, for cover design, probably. Maybe, but there are very few body paragraphs where that's going to be aesthetically pleasing or professional looking to your reader. But here, you can go in. And keep in mind, if you do set your paper to be your page to be a particular color, you're probably going to go in and reformat your text to make sure it's easily visible to your reader. Page borders. These are fun because you've got your 5 default settings in here, but you can do so much with them. So if we start, we can do a simple box. But then look at all these lines we can use just in the simple box. Let's go with this line. Look how we can adjust the width. We can make it a pretty blue color. Look at that. And just remember with stuff like page borders, again, less is frequently more. Don't overdo it. It's something designed to draw attention to things or to be artistic, but it's not the be-all, end-all of design. Let's see. To these paragraph settings. And let me see if I can turn off. Well, I'm going to turn off line numbers now. They're driving me crazy. I don't like them. So here, we've got these little shortcuts that let us indent a particular paragraph. Not a particular line, a particular paragraph. So look, I can just hit this arrow and indent until I think it's good. Or, if I know how much I want, if I know I want it to be 1/2 inch, I can do that. I can just type it in on the keyboard. Spacing. Before and after, so before and after the break. Say I want, so 0 point is, so here I've hit enter twice, then there's, to get this space here. But say I want it to be 10 points. 10 points. It's not a very big space, but here it did that, rather than me having to hit enter twice. Now here. And then we can do more with paragraph settings. If we hit that little arrow, you can actually do specific indents and have it be the first line of your paragraph or hanging. So I could do a 1/2 inch left hanging indent, and then this indents, and then this is the hanging part of the indent. It hangs even more. If that makes sense. I was going to say, does anyone have questions? And then I realized I'm recording this ahead of time. And this line spacing here, this is what we think of when we say single, 1.5, double. So here, I've just double spaced this paragraph because that's where the cursor is. If I wanted to double space the whole document, I would have to hit Control A. That selects all. Now the whole thing is double spaced. Or, at least and exactly are the two sort of most customizable line spacings. But they're also not all that, you're not going to need them a lot in your. I've used them in my professional life maybe 5 times. Let's say you want, exactly. You want to be 16 points, your spacing. So it's more space than standard single spacing. Um, and it's customized to have the spacing that you would want or the reader would want. Again, not something you're going to run across very often, but useful to know about. Say multiple at 3. So now I basically triple spaced it. Uh, let's go with 16. Let's go with 20 to make it really stand out. Yeah. Um, and so that's how you can sort of customize those. Feel free to fool around with it. Again, your mileage may vary. I pretty much do single or double spacing in my day-to-day life, but I don't have your job. Your job might require something a little more with more customized spacing. Let's see. And then there's that second tab here in the paragraph section, line and page breaks. Again, we're not really doing anything with text boxes right now. You could say suppress line numbers, but it sort of doesn't matter because I don't have line numbering turned on. You could say don't hyphenate, but I don't have hyphenation turned on. So a lot of this here isn't that necessary. But this window orphan control, that's something you might want to check. An orphan is like a single word, single fragment, or a single punctuation mark that sort of gets pushed off onto one line by accident of formatting. And that just sort of keeps it from, it just keeps things looking even and yeah, even and clean and professional. And as I said, the arrange tab we'll get to a little later. But these are the basics of layout for today. As always, feel free to email me with questions. Thank you.